is the result of 2 years of research on my part. It's a terrible incident. I had a very bad time during this, so I've done everything I can to research why things happen so that I don't have to go through this again. And the good news is that the things that I learned are useful to anybody else, so that you can use this information so that you don't have to go through this whole scenario. The first thing that I learned is something called combat stress. And if you're nodding off and tired, pay attention to this because this is by far the most important part of this entire presentation. And it is you ain't Superman. I know that a lot of you might watch Chicago Fire or Rescue Me or Level 49 or even the older guys, Johnny and Roy.
Johnny and Roy.
Them dudes badasses, right? I don't care what you blow up. They're like, oh yeah, I ain't even seen Chicago Fire. But I'm sure they're all like, I know how leaving west. So you stupid phrases. Okay? There's crap out there that'll kill you. Like, not kill you, but kill you to the point where the chief will drive to your house in the morning and ring the doorbell and tell your spouse, hey, you need to dig a hole and put your husband in it and then cover it up with dirt because he's dead. Dead forever. Or until the zombie apocalypse or the rapture, whichever one you believe in. You're underground forever. Dead. Alright? And I had never even heard of this phenomenon happening. I was always under the impression that if death came knocking at my door, I'm going to punch him in the throat repeatedly the entire way to the ground. I ain't giving up. I got a sweet pickup truck. I got a pistol grip 12 gauge at home, pump action with 8 shots in the tube. Obviously, mustache, right? This is the result of Mustache March 2 years ago. You just went, oh my God, I'm a real fireman. So I always thought that I was cool. If something bad happens, I got it. Ain't no problem. That wasn't the case. When Gus opened up that window in the room, the first thing out the window was Reason. I'm going, come back, I need you. Reason's like, oh, the room's on fire. You come to me. I can't make my hands work. Well, there's something that happens when you are faced with something that you perceive to be life-threatening to you. And that can be anything. You could be on a car wreck and you see a car sliding sideways towards you. You could be in a structure fire and fire's going through the walls. You could be inside of a house working a medical call and you hear somebody behind you. It doesn't matter what the situation is. It matters what you perceive to be a threat against your life. You kick into this mode of what's called combat. It's actually called hormonal, heart rate induced stress something. I like combat stress because it's combat. Well, what happens is your body kicks into this mode that you think is like the fight or flight. You guys been through medicine back? Remember been in medical school? Hey, fight or flight, man, you can see faster, or you can see farther, and your muscles get stronger, and you can move, and you can groove. That's bull crap. That doesn't work, okay? You might pass that stage on the way up to the freak out. You don't get no fight or flight, all right? It doesn't happen. They lied to you, they lied to me, okay? You might get the strength to lift a car with somebody. That's all you got, though. Okay, so this is something that happens as a result of a heart rate increase due to stress, not heart rate increase due to physical exertion, because we're already going to be at like 150, toting a hose out of the stairs. So there's a chart coming up that shows you numbers, heart rate numbers, and then some associated symptoms. Don't pay attention to the numbers; they don't mean anything to us, because our heart rate's already up. But what matters is how fast your heart rate rises as a result of stress. Now, this is completely automatic and uncontrollable. You can't do anything about this. If you get into a situation where you think you're fixing to die, bam, you're in this little thing, and you're going to be in it until you do one of two things. You defeat your opponent, or you escape. Now, the cops and military, this is where Skull is from, they use this talking about, they're over in Iraq, and somebody points an AK at them, and they're in combat stress. Now, the only way for them to get out of this little mode is for them to kill their opponent or retreat behind cover somewhere. For us, the only way for us to get out of this is to put the fire out, or dig ourselves out from underneath the rubble and escape the building. And in a true catastrophic failure of a structure or some kind of huge fireball, that's not always an option. We're talking about flashovers. Some of our new guys who are the YouTube firefighters watch the YouTube videos. Oh, we're going to do this look today. They said, we're talking about, hey, you get a flashover, you open full quad, put the thing over your head, whip it around, and you get the hell out of the building. And they're like, well, you should just leave the room if there's a flashover. Pardon me, flashover. I'm going to go ahead and exit the building at this point, if you don't mind, if everything's okay with you. And we're just gonna, we'll see you from the outside and we'll pencil you in. You know, not always gonna happen. So you're in this phenomenon until you defeat what you think is killing you or you escape from it. Other than that, this is what you're going to be stuck in. Now it starts down here at the bottom, resting heart rate, which is your cool. And they call it like condition wide or condition normal, whatever. They got some colors associated. It doesn't really make any sense. So you're sitting right here, all of a sudden, bam, fires through the wall. I'm fixing to die, this sucks. The first thing that you lose is the ability to do fine motor skills, which means that if you've got some fancy bailout bag that you got from the fire store that's got this hook and this carabiner, and you got a descender in this pocket, and then you tie figure 8 here, and you put this hook here, and you put the descender on, and you hook it to this halogen bar on the corner of the window, and then you let yourself out the window and slide, you ain't doing that. Unless you've done that twice a week for several months, unless you can do that in your sleep with somebody screaming at you or shouting at you or whatever you can do to make yourself stressful, you ain't gonna use that. Not gonna happen. Sorry. I'm sorry if you paid a lot of money for that little deal. It's not gonna work unless you have trained with that exclusively and do it in your sleep. So right there, the first thing you lose is the ability to do this kind of stuff. You're not gonna be able to change your radio, channels on your radio. You're not gonna be able to operate a window to open it up like I was. Gus was still down here at 80, right at the bottom, because at this point, he still thinks that everything's cool. I got control. I know otherwise. I don't have control. I don't know what's going on. I'm lost in the building. It's getting hot. So I shoot right out this chart. He's still cool. He's able to unlock that window and raise it up. He's able to take his air pack off, put it outside of the window, and crawl out the window. So the next thing that you're going to lose is complex motor skills, and it goes right into the 175 range. Now over here, here's your optimal survival range. This is your fight or flight that they talked about in medic school, where you can run faster, you're stronger and smarter. You're rocking straight past this. Okay, you're going to see, oh, there's that stuff. That's pretty cool. It's way down there now. Now I'm freaking out. Now, a lot of the time during this incident, Gus was in that zone. Because remember, his heart rate was up, but it wasn't because of fear. So he was still able to hover down here at the bottom of this chart and still was able to function. I wasn't. I'm up here at the top. So up here at the top, this is the condition, I think, gray. The next one's black, which is death. Cognitive process deteriorates. I can't think. I can't figure out how to get out of this window. I can't look out the window and see if there's a roof underneath the window. I don't know what's going on. Loss of peripheral vision, which is actual tunnel vision, which is this. Looking through a hole, looking through a toilet paper roll at that point. Blindness everywhere else, complete darkness. Loss of depth perception, loss of near vision. I got to the point where I was completely blind on that roof, couldn't see anything at all. I thought it was the smoke that was around me. Finding this information out, this is what was going on. Auditory exclusion, which is called tunnel hearing, muffled sounds. Now there was a point where Gus was up into this range because he said that it sounded like the radio traffic was coming from a different room. It was very distant sounding. And he was up and down between this chart because he was like, hey, he knows what he's doing. No, he doesn't. Wait, I think he's got, oh, no, he's freaking out. He's back and forth on this little deal. His deal is unique. Not really covering this chart because of some of the information he was given, the information that he obtained from this call. Now, the black. This is the last part right here. Irrational fighting or fleeing. If you had walked up to me and told me, hey, we got you an exit. No, I'm going out the window. I've already scheduled a window exit. This is where I'm going. Freezing in place. You know, I didn't have this. It was the opposite of freezing, technically, because it was 14,000 degrees in that room. Submissive behavior, where was I going? To my knees. I was accepting the fact that I was going to die, and I was like, I'm going to lay down right here and die. I submit to you, fire. You got me. Voiding of bladder and bowels, I wouldn't admit that if it did happen. I'm telling you that it didn't. Because it had all evaporated at that point. I didn't do a little, I got urine evaporated fast enough. That's disgusting. Now, this last thing right here, it's your Geronimo, or your custard last stand. You have 10 seconds where you are at your fastest and strongest. You've got one last push. For 10 seconds, you've got 100% of your muscle use. After 10 seconds, that drops to about 50%. So if you could bench press 200 pounds, you can do that for 10 seconds. After that, take some plates off, you can only bench press 100 pounds. After about 45 seconds, that drops to 30% of your muscle. After that, you're just doing the bar. And a lot of times you'll hear about these firefighters that just collapse in the building. They can't support the weight of their gear at that point. You're wearing 70 pounds of gear. If you can support 70 pounds, now you can support 35, now you can support 10. So this Geronimo moment, it gives you one last burst. It gives you one ability to walk up, punch somebody in the face as hard as you can. After that, it rapidly deteriorates and drops off. And that kind of explains why you'll hear about guys being found dead right under a window. Is ran out of steam. And I was at that point. I had expended all my energy. I completely used up all the sugars or the amino acids or whatever you use in your body to make energy. And having left, it was done. There wasn't any, hey, I'm gonna get this adrenaline rush and all of a sudden I'm gonna be stronger. There wasn't enough energy to support that, which is where that paramedic school stuff lies to you. Oh, you're stronger and faster and smarter. You're dumber and stupider and slower. So this situation happens when you think that your life is in danger. Okay, you can't do anything about it. You get in this chart, you're in this chart until you fix the problem. That sucks, right? That's bad news. The good news is you can do things prior to this chart coming up to lessen the speed at which you run through this list. And the bad news to that is that you have to train. And I don't mean training like a lot of us older guys look at training. We have to do 20 hours a month of training. You get to the end of the month, the time you say, hey, you got your training in? Oh, yeah, let me go check. Oh, shit, I only got 6 hours. Well, I check the trucks out every day. That's an hour of apparatus familiarization. We did hydrants last week. That's 3 hours of water systems. You know, we did a station tour. That's 2 hours of public safety training. There you go, Chief. I'm all trained up. Okay, I know it's hard for you guys to understand because you're also gung-ho and ready to train right now, right? Nod your heads because you got guys watching. Well, you love training, okay? Complacency cancer kicks in years down the road. Man, it's 110 degrees outside. I ain't putting my gear on and pulling crosslays off the truck. Okay? Did that my entire career. I trained when it was convenient. And bites you in the ass. So the more trained you are at the core parts of your job, pulling crosslays off, throwing ladders against building, putting your bunker gear on with all the flaps closed, operating your air pack, knowing how to take your air pack off and put it back on. Have they gotten to the point where they take it off and they jumble up and give it back to you, you're supposed to put it back on with your eyes closed? They still doing that in rookie schools? Was that hazing now? You can't do that anymore? That's so easy. All these little things that we just, oh man, I know how to pull crosslays off. But every time we do it, we screw something up. Like, we'll just get it next time. The better trained you are as a firefighter at your core training, the slower you're going to advance through this thing. The more experience you have with fighting fire, the slower you're going to advance through this chart. And you can't make, legally, you cannot make more fires to fight. You can go out and set them, throw you in the clink. But you can get on the internet and you can watch people fight fire. There's a firefighter training suppository network called YouTube, which you can go there and type some words in. And there's a million fires. Don't look at the comments because as soon as you put a fire on YouTube, the first thing you go, you guys are stupid, you're doing it wrong. Just watch the guys fight fire and talk about it. Oh man, look at that smoke changing. Look at that walls coming out right there. You know, you get trained that way. Being proficient at the speed at which you do things, putting your gear on fast, knowing your district, getting to the scene faster, being able to pull across out the front door, mask up and go in faster, you're buying yourself more time because, man, the fires you guys are going to fight these days, holy crap, you guys are screwed. 15, 20 years ago, man, the fires weren't any hotter, but they burned slower. We didn't have all these synthetics in the houses that you guys are going to deal with. Man, you guys got like 4 or 5 minutes, and it's fixing to flash. So you've got to be faster and smarter and respond to these calls. So all these things you can do to keep yourself out of this chart, it all revolves around putting your bunker gear on with an air pack, with a mask, black it out if you need to, and going outside and playing with your toys. It's hard to do, especially in a station full of old guys. They ain't gonna want to do it. They're waiting on 7 o'clock. So you You're just going to have to force yourself to do it. There's even videos on YouTube that show you how to train by yourself. I watched one the other day with a guy talking about, hey, I know it's hard to train. Here's how you do some 2.5-inch hose operations by yourself, hook them to a hydrant, nothing's out of service. So there are ways for you to get out there and play with your toys without bothering the driver who's in there sucking out a half-gallon of Blue Bell. Hope you don't get, I'm quite positive that doesn't happen.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
We go looking at it.
Stepping on some toes, baby.
I hit the hole. I'm talking about myself too, so that makes it any better. I'm sorry. All right, that's the most important part of this class. Is you ain't Superman. If you get to a point where you think your life's in danger, you're going to freak out. There's nothing you can do to stop it. The only thing you need to do to help this situation is to get your ass outside and train. Be better at your job. Now, gut instincts. I've never considered myself to be a veteran firefighter. You know, I'm not some world-renowned, I ain't no Chief Lasky from Louisville. I don't have gut instincts that I can trust because I have not been there and done that. I haven't seen everything I need to see. So when I got that gut instinct, I dismissed it as fear. What I didn't know is I'm going up the stairs to that house. Engine 3 gets on the radio and says, we're out of air, we're coming out of the garage, we're leaving the 2.5 in the garage, we're out of air. He said that on the radio. My radio was right here. It was turned on, it was turned up. I heard that, but I didn't hear it. So when I get to the top of the stairs, my brain's going, hey dude, remember that hose on that was fighting the fire? They ain't there anymore. And I don't know if you noticed or not, there's nobody protecting your stairs. You're inside of a structure that's on fire with no protection, not a pit. And my brain's telling me, get your ass out of here. And I ignored it because I don't have gut instincts. I'm not that good of a fireman to have gut instincts. Just ignored it. I was at a leadership conference in Frisco. Do you guys go to the leadership symposium? Ray Cooper was a chief in Lubbock or Lufkin? One of those words. They're fighting this huge propane fire, things blowing up. And he was talking about decision making under stress. And he gets to this point in the presentation where he shows this video. And it's a video from a battalion chief's car. He pulls up on scene, they're fighting fire, they're doing stuff, it was a hoarder house. Nobody was inside. But there was a moment where this captain, this guy walked up to the door, and they're going to look inside and see what's going on, and something happens. Now, this guy is looking out of his windshield at the house when this thing that's fixing to happen happens. He sees it happen, and it isn't until he gets back to the station and watches the tape until he realizes what happened, what's going on. Does anyone know how to work PowerPoint? I can't get the videos to play. And you just close it. Hey, you can edit the title of the video, right, later? Okay, so we got firemen walking around there doing stuff. We got smoke into the house and whoa. All right, nobody got hurt, but we're gonna watch him get a slow motion. Watch this guy throw his hands up right before this thing happens. All right, you see that roof kick up? Just a little bit pop. You can get the lights in. So this battalion chief sitting there on scene and they're doing other stuff, and the division chief walks up, hey man, we need to vent that roof. And he's like, no, I don't want to vent the roof. He's like, why? I got a bad feeling about it. What do you mean you got a bad feeling? We got to get the guys on the roof, cut a hole, man, get some of that smoke out of there. We'll be here all night. No, we're not putting anybody on the roof. What's the matter with you, dog? Sorry, I'm not sorry. Nobody's going on the roof. So that was the end of that. They finished fighting the fire. They get back to the station. He watches that video. He was like, oh my God, that roof kicked up. I didn't even see that. His brain did. And when that roof kicked up and his brain saw that, and his eyes didn't. Somebody said, put somebody on the roof. Hey, don't you put anybody on that roof. They're going to fall through it. So he had a gut instinct. He stuck with it. And it worked out in their favor. Now, I'm not saying just blindly follow your gut instincts because that, I mean, they're kind of weird. I mean, you're not always going to be right. But if you get that funny feeling and you think something's wrong, at least take the time to investigate what it is that's going on. Take more time than I did than just, it's fear. Get up there and work. Do your job. All right? Now, what did I show up at the command post with? Nothing. I had 2 8-foot pipe poles. One of them was a trash hook. Totally useless. I think I'm going to go fight fire. We ain't fighting a fire, we're searching. And when I get to the command post, I'm far enough away from my engine that I don't have time to run back and get the right kind of tools. So since that day, I'm going to show you a picture that I don't advocate this on everybody. Whenever I do something dumb, I overcompensate and really go to the other end of the spectrum to make the corrections. So when I get on scene of a fire, I've got as much crap as I can physically carry with me. I've got a pipe pole, I've got my radio strap, I've got a box light, I've got a flashlight here, I've got a flashlight here, I've got one in my pocket, I've got my gauntlet gloves on, I've got a thermometer, I've got a 200-foot rope bag, I've got an officer's tool hanging down the back, a little bit short pipe pole. My guys that are with me are carrying more crap than I am. Like, no, get more. No, get more. Get some more bottles. Get a ladder. Holy crap, get everything you can carry. So when we get to the command post, we're, what do you got for us? They give us the assignment, search. We're doing a search, put all the crap down that we're not going to use in our own little personal tool cache, and we go do our job. We take everything we can carry to the command post, everything that we can anticipate using for any kind of assignment we can get. So when we get there, we're ready to work. And every time I've done this, we've had 3 or 4 calls where we were part of a large response. We've had a couple training, this is a training evolution. Every time we got to the command post, the incident commander, every single time said, damn, you're ready to work. Sir, I am. What would you like for us to do? I want you to go do a search. Search tools. Put all the crap down. We're ready to rock and roll. So it's up to you guys, your SOGs or whatever, your personal comfort level. That's what I take to the command post from now on, because I got burned not taking enough stuff. We got grin, crappy grin there. I'm so happy to be standing there with so much stuff. So many toys. You guys aren't going to get this point because you're in working school, and don't be nodding to some things because you got guys watching you. This is for the guys in the back of the classroom. Now I'm going to show you a picture. I want the guys in the back to yell out as loud as you can what your initial word association is with the picture you're going to see. Now, because firemen are firemen, I've got some practice pictures to get you guys talking. Because nobody ever plays along with this game to this point. So I'm going to show you there's some practice pictures coming up. They're very easy. Guys in the back, I want you to say what the first word comes to your mind is. Okay, you ready?
Apple.
Tree. House.
Oh,
That was supposed to be a duck. Actually, I got the wrong one.
Girlfriend.
All right, here you go. Ready for the real one?
Joe?
You got a good career ahead of you. Good bee shooter. All right, you ready for the real one? Here it comes. Ready?
Golf.
Are you afraid to say
Golf.
Are you afraid to say nerd or dweeb?
Golf.
That's golf, okay? This is what I demand from my guys when they're wearing bunker gear, which is what you guys, I hope you guys better be doing. Every zipper is up, every flap is closed. If there is a class to be classed, it is connected and secure. You've got a tool, you've got a flashlight, you've got your hose on, your ear flaps are pulled down. I'm Ricky Responder, I'm ready to fight fire. Okay, this is the image that we have in our head, is these dorks whenever we talk about PPE. And every time you say the word PPE, you guys will learn this. You hear the word PPE, oh God, here come the NFPA numbers. As soon as somebody says PPE, they're fixing to follow it up with NFPA 14011B12. I know what the numbers are. 1750, 1500. What are the numbers? What's PPE? 1710. 1971. Thank you. You guys are smart. Okay? And this is what people think they look like when they're wearing their bunker gear correctly, is these dorks from Gauls. And these jackasses make it so hard for jackasses like me to demand that guys wear their bunker gear. So what's the result? You got guys bent in the roof with their ear flaps tucked up inside their helmet. Now, we have a little common drive at work. We take pictures of the fires and put them in this little drive, and they got folders and the North Shore fire, whatever. I had to open up one folder to find examples of our guys not wearing their gear correctly. It's the first 2 pictures I looked at. I was like, well, damn, that was easy. We got guys cutting a hole in the roof with their ear flaps tucked up inside their helmet. We got guys coming out of a search. It's hard to see because of the light. That guy's coat's open. That guy's coat's open. There's a captain behind him. His coat's wide open. Okay, you know, all those little things. What are you going to do, burn your Adam's apple? Whatever. I don't care. I'm a fireman. All right? There's a guy named Daniel McGowan. Never heard of him. It's just some dude from up north works in the Queen Mary something district. He's fighting fire in a house. I got a picture. No. He's fighting fire in a house, and Amber falls under that with his coat. His coat's wide open.
10 into 1.
And little Amber falls down his coat. He's like, chicken dance time, right? He's trying to get that Amber out of his coat. Can't get it. Screw this, I'm leaving. This sucks. So he goes out the door. He feels the wall. He feels the brick wall. Takes his gear off. He's pissed off because he got burned. He's throwing his helmet. He takes his mask off and throws it on the ground. His gloves come off. Dang it, bull crap. They find him 10 minutes later in the basement, unconscious. During his little dance, he goes through the basement door. Goes down to the basement, feels the brick fireplace, thinks he's outside, shucks his gear, and his pass device alerts the guys that he's down. And something just as simple as his coat being open. I got a picture of my gear here in a second. That's what we think we look like. Right? That's the image that we all think we need to portray. I'm a fireman, I fight fire like this with all my stuff on, so you can see my pets. Right? Now, I didn't put a picture of Chicago Fire, but I'm pretty damn sure they look something like that. I don't watch that show. You guys watch that show? You better say no. We got Joaquin here with his little hair lip. You know, this is what we think we have to look like on scene, and guys do this all the damn time. Every fire we go to, there's going to be a dozen dudes walking around fighting fire like this. And you ask them, hey, well, why didn't you gear on? Oh man, I forgot. Put it on. Thanks, Cap. Man, I had a captain, he's a friend of mine, I asked him. It's like, I was talking about me turned into a bunker gear Nazi in his class. Like, oh, what are you doing that for? Like, well, you wear your gear. What do you do with your ear flaps and your helmet? I stuck them in my helmet. Why? Because I don't want to look like a volunteer. Are you serious? You're actually going to admit that? That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. Why don't you write that down on a piece of paper and put it in that envelope that we all have in case you die? So when the chief gets to your house, his wife, what did he do? Oh, he didn't want to look like a volunteer. Okay? Here lies Captain Dumbass. He wasn't a volunteer. You know? That is so beyond stupid that I can't even comprehend. And it really makes my bunker gear thing flare up. I get all pissy. Am I a jackass about gear?
Shake my nose.
Sorry, I'm not sorry. So this hit the lights, Gus. These are my ear flaps to my helmet. I don't know how much heat it takes to turn that material from black to orange to red, but I guarantee you it's more heat than I want on my neck. Now our Nomex hoods that we wear, there's a rating the NFPA assigns our gear. It's a PP something rating. Whatever. Our bunker gear is 35, whatever that number is. Our hoods are generally about 21, which is lower than what the standard is, which is 35. Well, the hood manufacturer said, hey, with the ear flaps on the helmet down, that plus our hoods equals 35. And then NFPA goes, oh yeah, you're right, because the guys always have ear flaps down, right? Yeah, of course they do. It's part of the code. NFPA 71. So that's how we're able to wear the hoods that are thinner, is because they assume our ear flaps are down. If those things are tucked up inside your helmet, I don't know, prepare to get new ears. And I've heard that it sounds like bacon sizzling when your ears burn off your head. You can hear the carpets bubbling. I've not experienced that, thank God, but I think it'd be a sucky way to lose your ears. Imagine how silly you'd look without ears. Photoshop them off your head one day. Take a picture of yourself, put it in Photoshop, take them off, see what happens. You pull these damn flaps down. That's Gus's mask. Okay, that's what he was wearing on his face. Now our department, being the frugal department it is, was trying to save some money. They tried to clean this, to put it back in service, okay? That didn't come off. That soot was baked into the plastic. So he was in front of so much heat that it baked itself into the plastic. He's breathing air, not air, he's breathing the crap coming out of that window with that much damage to his mast, the only way he was able to keep from that was because he was behind that neck flap that I turned into a jerk about when it's opened up. That's the only thing we can come up with. Just another example of why you wear your gear. That's that Daniel McGowan guy that was doing chicken hands. He was off work for around 6 months, severe burns to his face and neck and hands. Damn near died. And I talked to him on the phone. He talked about his experience. We were kind of sharing war stories, and that guy, even it was years later, like, dude, I don't go anywhere without my gear completely on. And now, I just recently told my crew, I had to reiterate to my crew, I said, anytime that you're wearing your bunker gear, I don't care if it's for a wreck, a fire alarm, an actual fire, if it's cold outside and you're trying to stay warm, if your bunker coat is on, it's zipped up in the flaps across because I want that muscle memory. Every time you put that coat on, this happens automatically. Because there's times where I don't have time to check people before they go in the building. There's been several times where, wow, the hell is that? Beat it, nerd. Stuff to do. All right, muscle memory. You get the lights. Does anybody not know what this is? I know a lot of you young kids, or you grow up so sheltered, your parents don't want you to struggle with stripes and hide this kind of thing. This is really it's so funny to make fun of the current generation being an old generation person. It happens at every jump. I love making fun of you young guys. You guys ain't never worked a day in your life. All right, muscle memory. We, as firefighters, you can all agree that muscle memory is a good thing because it allows us to do, kind of routine, mundane things without thinking about it. Putting bunker gear on, or pulling a cross lay off, or stretching a hose line through the front door. So that's muscle memory, and this also applies to how I solve Rubik's cubes. Now I'm not some genius, and I don't think any of you guys are under that assumption after hearing all these stories. But I have got on YouTube, and I watched some little Chinese kid show me how to solve a Rubik's Cube, and there's like, I don't know, 7 steps, 7 little algorithms that you use to get the cube to a certain point. And I sat down at the fire station, off duty, for hours at a time in the library, watching this video of this kid do this, and it got to the point where I learned how to do it. And I've gotten so good at it that I'm not even looking at the cube, because I remembered which way I'm supposed to turn my hands. And I tried to show a guy yesterday how to do this, and I couldn't. He's like, man, why don't you teach me how to do a Rubik's Cube? All right, whatever. So I had 2 Rubik's Cubes, because I'm a nerd, I have 2 of them. And I'm trying to show him how to do it, and I can't, because I can't tell you what I'm doing. Because my hands just automatically do what they're supposed to do. Now, our rookie was asking me after a commercial fire alarm, she's like, how do you get out of your gear so fast? I'm like, first of all, why are you watching me undress? Second, what are you talking about? She's like, I'm in my complete bunker gear, and you're in your station boots. We just got back to the station. How do you do that so fast? And I'm like, I don't know. And I couldn't tell her how I did it. I had to put my gear back on, which pissed me off because it was dinner time. But I put my gear back on, and I had to very slowly go through taking it off to show her how I did it. And I was like, I guess it's just muscle memory. I've been doing this for long enough that my gear I just come out of my gear. So, that's another good example of muscle memory. I almost jumped this. I do about 90 seconds of like yakking. And 1, 2, 3, and 4, and we're done with it. All right, so that's muscle memory, right? Fireman got to have muscle memory. Here's how it almost screwed me up. Now, you remember, I used to do 2 bus up there. And it looks like the stickers are wore off because I peeled them apart. I'll tell you about breaking one. This dude right here, the 5x5 cube, he turned out the wrong way one time. It looks like the Death Star blowing up. Oh, stuff everywhere. Yeah, I'm a nerd. I don't care. So, I told you I had a thermal imager, right? I had a thermal imager and 2 pipe holes going into the fire. Well, every fire alarm that I go to, I get off the truck with a thermal imager clipped to my belt, with my helmet, my mask, my flashlight, my gloves, and my radio, and a box light, whatever. All the stuff that I take on every fire alarm, I take to a structure fire. Get to a structure fire, get off with my helmet, my mask, my gloves, my thermal imager, my belt, got a radio, and off I go to fight fire. Well, on this particular call, wasn't any different. He hands me a thermal imager with an XC. We go into the building, and we're walking around doing fireman stuff, and we get to a situation where I could use that stupid thing, and I never even knew it was there. Because every time I go to a commercial fire alarm, Do I need to pick it up? No, I'm looking for the silence button to shut this thing up. And then I'm getting on the radar and that's where the key holder is, and we sit there and wait for him to show up. He resets the alarm bell and go home. And here's his imager, swinging on my belt. Back and forth. You know, walk around the building, there it is, okay? Hit me in the leg. Never needing to pick it up and use it, I don't even know it's there. So we get into this fire, things start falling apart. I could have picked up and turned it on. Well, shoot, there's the door, let's get out. Didn't even know it was there. So muscle memory had prevented me from knowing that the imager was there. Now, when I call the Mayday, I know that you're supposed to activate your pass device because the process is Mayday, 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 activate your pass, turn your flashlight on, tap the tool on the floor, whatever you gotta do to bring attention to yourself. I called Mayday, I reached up, double clicked the button on my air pack. Pass device didn't go off. Piece of crap, double clicked it again. The hell, this damn thing's broke. Double clicked it again. Double click, double click. What am I doing? It's got air pack. I'm resetting it. Okay, how many times a year do you reset your air pack? Every morning when you check it, because you check your air pack every morning. Every time you take it off after a fire, how many times a year you push the red button? Once a year during annual Mayday training. Okay? When I reached up and grabbed that stupid thing, I started double clicking the reset button because I was not used to doing this. Hit the red button. Didn't even know the red button was there. Muscle memory. And I don't even know of the other things that I'm doing day to day that are going to screw with me later because I haven't got caught doing it yet. But it's a good time for you to sit down and think, what am I doing? What am I doing that's incorrect? It's kind of like playing golf. You know, you keep slicing, you keep slicing, you keep slicing, you never change your golf swing. That's what you're going to do for every time. In our situation, we pretty much have to get hurt or get in trouble before we know we're doing something wrong. Exactly what happened here. Now, to correct these two issues, I still got off the truck, hands me the thermal imager, goes on my belt. When I walk through the front door, whatever building I'm going to, fire alarm or structure fire, I reach down, turn on, pick it up, and look at it. I don't care what I'm looking at. Number one, it's cool. It's a thermal imager, for God's sake. It's neat. But I look at the screen, and I just do this, just once, put it back down. Because I get in the habit of reaching out, picking up, turning on, and holding it in front of my face. Now, well, this is also useful for when I pick up, turn on, look at a wall, I can go, oh, I know this wall isn't on fire, but I can still see the studs. I know that plug is not on fire, but the plug still looks hotter. I know that the power tool there is supposed to look hot. So when I get into a structure fire and I pick it up, I've got a reference to judge what I'm looking at against. I know what a regular building looks like. And I look at a wall and there's a big white spot in it. That ain't what it's supposed to look like. Open that up with the hose line. Don't open it up without it. Now the pass device, every morning I check the air pack off, I still do the same thing, but when I go to reset the air pack, I hit the red button first, the pass device goes off, everybody does this, including me, then I reset it. So when I grab that part of the air pack, the first thing I do is my finger's looking for that red button. And so far it's been working for me. Something else to remember, when you're checking your packs out on the apparatus, when you're looking at it backwards. So when you go to reach for a part of the air pack, when it's on your back, you got to remember that thing's on the opposite side of what you're looking at. So when you reset the air pack, it's over here on this side of the air pack. When you're wearing it, it's over here. The only way to correct that is to put the dang thing on, which you can do that if you want to. But there have been several cases where guys have gone to reach for something that's on the wrong side because they're used to looking at it in the seat.
That's it.
Yeah.
Like on your air pack, I don't know in paramedic school, you learn your right's your right. Whether you, like you explained, if you're looking at it, it's the opposite. Your right's your right, your left's your left. And I don't know when I picked it up, but I always remembered right, removal, left, right. And anytime I take off my pack, I always take off the right side. And putting it back on, I always put on that side first. So I don't know, that helps me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like you said, muscle memory makes a world of difference. And that comes into training too.
It's just another excuse that you need